What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We are here at Second Mile Barbershop in Calgary, and it's getting to that point in the training cycle where, you know, everything's getting heavy, everything's getting fatigued, and your hair starts looking like shit. So here we are getting a fresh cut with my boy Martin. He's really sick, and yeah, we're gonna do our weekly training wrap up from here. So this week, training-wise, went pretty well. Squatted 277.5 on Monday. It was a little bit shaky, a little bit painful actually, and subsequent squats throughout the week, kind of like last week, started off a little bit painful and got progressively better. Squatted today, and it was mostly pain-free. I'm finding a lot of relief from using a band to kind of pull me to the side that I tend to shift to. You'll see that in my warm-ups from today. I got Britt pulling me to the right, which is where my hips tend to shift. So that seems to be correlating with good squat days, so I'm going to keep doing that. Probably try to do that in the warm-up room at War of the West here this weekend. Bench-wise, things went much better Monday than last week. I think I had 157 kilos on the pin press for a single. And then competition bench was 167 kilos. That's probably closer to a 9, but it was definitely good to handle that weight and have it feel that good. Working weights have been slowly climbing up throughout the week, so I think I'm at 137 kilos for my sets of 5, which honestly at the beginning of this training cycle probably would have crushed me, but yeah, that's my bench for you. Deadlift wise, pulled 363 on Monday, pulled 800 pounds, held on to it. No grip issue at all. Hook grip's feeling really, really good, so I'm pretty happy with that. Happy I made the switch, definitely. So pause deadlifted 340 today, and also did a set of 4 at 307.5. This week I'm kind of ever so slightly tapering the volume back a little bit to allow a little bit of recovery into the meet. So actually things are feeling pretty good. Keeping the intensity high, but like I said, kind of tapering the volume back a little bit. Set here, set there kind of thing. Tomorrow I'll bench a whole bunch, I'll do my 2 board and all that kind of stuff. And then Friday will be pin squats, and I'll compete on Saturday. In terms of meet goals and stuff like that, I'm thinking I'd like to go 295 on my squat, 177 or so on my bench. And I'm hesitant to say this out loud, but I'm going to try and go for 385 on my 3rd deadlift. So that would break, technically, by the time I compete, and actually for most of this training cycle, I'm technically a 120 because I'm weighing in at about 107 or 108, and the world record in the 120 category is 372, I believe. So if nothing else, I might go 375, 380, just try and take that record, because it'd be pretty cool to pull in world record territory again, even if it's not in my own weight class, which the record is higher in my weight class, but regardless. So our question of the day today comes from Soshi12005, and it's a pretty ambiguous, pretty general question, but he's wondering, what reps and sets do you recommend for a novice lifter, and what's your opinion on novices or beginners testing their maxes every week? So that's kind of a 2-part question. The first part of that question, what do I recommend for sets and reps? I mean, without getting overly complicated and just kind of saying it depends, which I think is a bit of a cop-out in some cases. I actually heard a really cool rule back in the day when I used to train with Martin here, from a guy named Chris Lemke. Do you remember Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chris Lemke told me about the rule of 3 to 5. And the rule of 3 to 5 is 3 to 5 exercises, 3 to 5 days a week, 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 5 reps with 3 to 5 minutes rest. So if you take those variables and you kind of, shift them to fit your schedule, if you're just getting into lifting, that's a great place to start. In terms of building strength, focus on, obviously compound movements, squat, bench, deadlift, etc. But that's just super, super easy, super basic kind of, way to set yourself up without spending too much time poking around the internet for 1,000 different programs, or, paying a coach when you're just kind of getting your feet wet with lifting. And the other part of the question, what do I think about novices and beginners maxing out every week? I think it's pretty silly, to be honest. I think that at that stage of the game, you build strength so easily. Why would you not take advantage of the fact that you can be building strength all the time? Like I said, those 3 to 5 sets, those are going to be key to to pushing your progression as a novice and intermediate, even lifter. So do as many of those as you can. Don't spend your time doing singles all the time. I would counter that with, if you're going to be competing in meet, maybe add some singles into your training to help you get used to the heavier loads and get used to doing things in that lower rep range. It's as much a skill, I think, at that point as it is strength. So I think there's a lot of value to doing singles, but I definitely don't think you need to be testing your maxes as a novice or intermediate, especially every week. That's it for us this time, guys. Big shout out to Martin and the rest of the crew here at Second Mile Barbershop here in Calgary. We're gonna put a link in the description if you want to book in with Martin. He's my dude. He does a great job, as you can see. So book in with him because he will cut your hair and he will do it real nice for you. Like the video if you guys have any questions about the question of the day or anything like that. If you guys have more questions for question of the day, I always appreciate that, so put them in below. Leave a like on the video and make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time.